So, hey, this is BivCrow with Mancave Museum. We are still in the process of getting our home renovated and remodeled, and the game room is up next. As you can see, we have all of my display cases. Oh, I'm probably in the reflection there too. All of my display cases emptied out. The game room couch. TV, display case, completely emptied rack, arcade. That's it. Everything is emptied out. I've got this packed to the gills. The storage is pretty much about as packed as I think I've ever seen that storage room. I use it for, supplies and parts that I need and stuff like that. So the floor, we had a flood about 6 months ago, and we had to pull up the carpet, and there was a little bit of peel and stick underneath. So now I'm getting all brand new carpet in here because we figured we're going to do it anyways, since we have the whole house being done, wood floors put in and everything. So essentially, the next time you see me, it's going to be in the all new game room, and these cases will be filled, and we will do a proper game room tour. So stick around. I'll probably cut to that. Okay, so it's been a couple of days and I've been really working way overtime to try to get everything back in order and the way it should be. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys around real quick. A lot of my stuff is in display cases with LED lighting and stuff, so you might see a little bit of glare. There's a little bit of glow here. I got my PS Vita kiosk, and this is a cabinet. I forget exactly where I got it, but I paid a reasonable price. I converted it over. I'm still organizing a lot of stuff. A lot of my collection is actually autographed memorabilia. So this is Richard Dreyfuss. He signed Jaws. And I also had him sign the cartridge. I ended up with this. I have no idea why. James AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, signed that. Bunch of commons. I don't really have anything too crazy in the way of carts. That's actually on my to-do list for next year. But I do have a couple of interesting things. I actually have the Broderbund project manager of the Battle of Olympus and Deadly Towers. He actually signed, I don't know if you could see, but he signed the game and the manuals for me. Some of my CIB Minty Mint Super NES games, and then a copy of WCW Mayhem that's been signed by Bill Goldberg. I got that done a short while ago. I think it was a couple of years ago, actually. So, no, about a year, something like that. Anyways, I got my Wii stuff. I'm collecting a lot of Wii U, and I'm starting to get into GameCube. And then I have a mishmash of just, random Xbox, PlayStation 4, just all different generation stuff. I have a bunch of filler here just for the shelf. It's mainly sports titles. Good thing about sports titles, they're worthless, but if the cases are good, they're really good for a swap. Okay, this is as you walk in. This is my left side of the room. Up top, I've got my Farpoint gun bundle. I've got my White Destiny PS4 box and some, nice smelly stuffs for the room. So if anybody farts, it smell nice. Everything in here, or just about everything in here, is autographs. I have a Pokemon White signed by Veronica Taylor, who played Ash. And I guess her daughter, Rena Taylor. Kojima signed. Metal Gear Solid. Frank Miller signed. 300 game, a custom, that's one of my LED lights I use for it in the glass. Custom NES box, signed by Ron Gilbert. John Elway signed John Elway, quarterback. Kevin Eastman signed Ninja Turtles. Brent Spiner, I believe it's pronounced, the guy who played Data, signed that. Jessica Curry and Dan signed my copies of Dear Esther by Limited Run Games. Joe Madura signed Darksiders 2 Limited Edition. I honestly forget, but it was the chick who played Lilith. I've got a bunch of the people here. I've got Tara Strong, I've got Steve Bloom, Nolan North, Mary McGlynn, I think, or whoever played Catwoman. This was signed, and this is also in another video of mine on the channel, by the entire Eve Valkyrie development team. Unfortunately, it looks like they have been shut down at that specific studio, which really sucks because they were really, really awesome people, and I wish them luck with their careers. No, this is Mary McGlynn, I think, who played Alex Wesker. You have to have your Ernie Hudson signed Ghostbusters game. Tiger Woods signed copy of Tiger Woods. John St. John, voice of Duke Nukem, signed Duke Nukem Forever. The one and only Ash himself, Bruce Campbell, signed copy of Evil Dead. The guy who played Raz, this was obviously personalized for somebody else. I got it secondhand. I got a great deal. I'm not saying what I paid, but it's also signed by Tim Schafer. I'll get to that in a second because that's pretty special. Let me rush through these. Fable signed by Peter Molyneux. Halo 2 dev team signed Halo 2 Limited Collector's Edition. Pretty awesome because I have Pete Parsons and Marty O'Donnell. You know, guy ended up having a lawsuit against the studio because he was not paid for some of his work on Destiny, I believe, or something. Uncharted signed by Nolan North. Far Cry signed by the lead and QA lead artists and art directors over at Ubisoft Toronto. Assassin's Creed, same deal there. A lot of the main people, the audio lead, and I forget the other guy's name. Starblood Arena, this is also in another video of mine. Nolan North, who plays Ghost in Destiny, signed this. Rob Layfield, the creator of Deadpool. Not the best artist in the world, but he did score a good lucky win for himself when he made Deadpool, signed that. Okay, so this is kind of cool. A long time ago, I was able to find somebody that was getting rid of this copy of BioShock, and it's signed by everybody. I mean, everybody. It's actually my favorite of the three, although the first one comes in a close second. But here's the kicker. So I was on eBay, and this was about a year and a half, close to 2 years ago, and Rob Waters, who is the concept artist for, you know, the studio, Irrational Games, he ended up going ahead and selling some of his stuff. So this is a signed Latus coin. Behind that is a signed copy of the BioShock, it's like a booklet, you know, about Columbia, and that was from the store. But the Latus coin, or I hope I pronounced that right, is from Rob Waters. And when I realized that he was the seller, I was like, hey, you know what, I love the games and you're a great artist. How much would it be to commission you? And I won't get into the details of that, but he went ahead, and this is an original, if you guys played the game, the Benjamin Franklin with the Gatling guns and everything, or the machine guns. And in the back, of course, I have more business cards of his. That's his official business card. So an original art piece from the concept director of BioShock and BioShock 2 and BioShock Infinite. Or the lead concept guy. Far Cry Primal, this is an 8x10. It's pretty much along the same lines of the same people that did my game. Ernie Hudson, signed Fan Expo HQ 8x10. Bill Goldberg, I have the game and I also have an 8x10 signed. A lot of my stuff has companion stuff signed. Assassin's Creed Unity, signed by the same staff at Ubisoft. Toronto. You know, just your typical NES bag with an NES. PlayStation 3 backwards compatible model. So then as we go over here, I have a team signed Assassin's Creed Unity poster, which is kind of cool. And then I have my DX Racer racing chair. This is my baby right here, my Fallout store display. This thing is about 5-ish feet tall, and it's yeah, I'm so happy to have that. I'm supposed to get a Mario Odyssey one soon from a connection of mine. I also have, if I go back out, and we're still working on the floor out here. By the way, the carpet looks great. I have, if you see like the Fallout signs and everything on the outside of my PlayStation 2 kiosk there, or display case. So I'm big on the Sega Master System. I don't know why the glow is like this. Let me see if I can do this without the lights on. Just give me a sec. Okay, so it's kind of dark, but I got a boxed Minty CIB original Master System. This thing is hella rare. This is my CIB Minty Master System 2 Canadian North American release. You will not see many of these. And the big difference, if you find one even loose, is that they're gray instead of black. This I went through a lot of hoops to get. Cost me a lot of money, and it's probably going to be buried with me. It's my Stan Lee autographed Spider-Man CIB copy for the Master System. King's Quest, signed by the founders of Sierra, Rob and Roberta and Ken Williams. I am so freaking tired. I've been working for days in here. I have all the heavy hitters, including, you know, things like the US variants. I was very happy when I got Alf. I believe I did a breaking of the factory sealing on that on my YouTube. If you guys want, you can check that out. My factory sealed Xenoblade Chronicles, my CIB Zelda. There's the Zelda. There's the Zelda gamepad, Wii. And I'm starting to get into the Wii U quite heavily. It's a really good time to start buying into that because it is end of life and the prices always go down. Sega Dreamcast CIB. I got a signed copy of Mysterious Song. Let me see if I can... It's really hard now. Let me put this down. Sorry, you can tell I'm not much of a cameraman. Mysterious Song for the Super CD-ROM. This was a homebrew. It was by Frozen Utopia, and the guy who actually developed it signed that for me. I got Castlevania for the TurboGrafx. If you don't know, I'm not going to get into that. It's a little controversial. Of course, you know that too, if you don't know what I never... Oh, great, my box fell. So, I also have a Super EverDrive. A lot of the stuff that the kids and I play, it's going to be on EverDrive. The stuff in the cases we don't really mess with. David Hayter signed Metal Gear, and Gillian Anderson signed X-Files. A mishmash of stuff. This is my Mario shrine, but before I get to that, I got my Glitch Artwork did this. I forget that gentleman's name, but it's signed. It's one of a kind, Firewatch. This is, of course, the development team of Farpoint. They signed that for me. Now we get into my Mario stuff. I got my Mario Anniversary Edition, DSi XL, N64, and of course CIB Mario 64 signed. I've got my Ren and Stimpy shrine, #1 comic signed, and Bob Camp he was just so much fun to meet. He signed and drew, of course. I've got Ren there. I've got a couple of the DVDs, a couple of the figures. I got my Super Nintendo game done. That's a great likeness of Stimpy. I love it. My game box. And I'm going to be getting Friday the 13th eventually. Kane Hodder I'll probably get along with Ari Lehman and a couple of the other guys. But this is my Nightmare on Elm Street LJN signed CIB Minty copy signed by Robert Englund, who of course is the guy that was behind the Freddy persona. So he was Freddy Krueger, and the #1 comic, of course. An unsorted mishmash of a bunch of Watchdog signed stuff. Let me see if I can get in here real quick. The guy who played T-Bone, shown by Chew. Yeah, that was like really neat of me to do. Anyways, like, yeah, I just got a bunch of autograph stuff, and then I also have the robots, the Watcher bot, and that's also signed. So, all right, next up, a bunch of Skylanders that I bought at garage and estate sales, and Infinity figures, all the toys to life crap. God, you just, yeah. I can't help but get them because I buy huge lots of games, and for some reason I keep getting these figures in them. But they're kind of cool. I guess in 30 years they'll be worth $1 or something. Bunch of pre-order bonuses, you know, vintage, you know, Mario keychain. Oh, more Mario stuff. I got my signed Nintendo Entertainment System. It's gonna need a new 72-pin connector in it. I actually ganked it and then traded my my good 72-pin connector to microplay. It sucks. Anyways, either one signed by the awesome team at White Paper Games. I'm gonna be a voice actor in the upcoming game they're working on called The Occupation, so make sure you check that out. Firewatch team signed copy, limited run games. Sean Schemmel, who played Strong in the voice of the Ghouls in Fallout 4, signed that. Call of Duty Black Ops, signed by the team. Retro City Rampage DX, signed by Brian Provinciano. Chris Holden Reed, signed Assassin's Creed Syndicate. He was Crawford. Jessica Curry and Dan, of course, I showed you earlier in the other display case. They signed 2 copies for me. Outlast, signed by Sean Baichu, I believe, or it's the other guy. I'm getting really ahead of myself here. Anyways, he was the main protagonist in all 3. The Whistleblower, the original, and, of course, Outlast 2. This is really cool. This is something I'm very happy to have. This is my Rob Wiedoff, I believe his name is pronounced, signed copy of Red Dead Redemption. He was John Marston, and he will never do voice acting again. He's actually walked away from the whole Hollywood lifestyle and thing. Very hard guy to get a hold of. This took a long time to acquire. Very happy to have this. Borderlands Game of the Year edition, signed by everybody. I mean everybody. I've got David Eddings, Randy Pitchford, you name it. Ron Gilbert, signed copy of Monkey Island. This is another pride and joy piece of my collection. This is a original minty copy of the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox, and it's signed by the entire BioWare staff. It's front and back. Hulk Hogan signed Legends of Wrestling. Tim Schafer signed copy of Psychonauts for the Xbox. I'm a huge Ron Gilbert and Tim Schafer fan, if you can't tell already. Almost done here. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, signed by Kurt Schilling, and R.A. Salvatore. Brett Favre, signed copy of Madden 09. Now, I'm just going to quickly go through this. I have my system set up here. I have my every game room couldn't be complete without a heater, especially in the Canadian winters. On top of that, my VR headset. And over here I got my Neo Geo Upright Arcade game, my Fan Expo shirt, signed Video Games Live shirt. The big one for me, of course, is Tommy Tallarico, a legend in the game industry. My original GTA 5 PS4 store display. All of these comics are video game related in some shape, way, form, or another, and they are all autographed. So to give you an idea, and I don't really collect comics, but there they are. I've got one of my 2 massive TVs, my Xbox 360, my Ouya, which I used to play a lot of the older stuff emulated, my Switch. This is really cool. This is one of my other trophy pieces. This was a contest prize, and it was done through Best Buy Canada. This is one of the 2, I think it was PAX East or PAX West, original promotional Fallout 4 Xbox One controllers. These were actually given out as grand prizes. It took a lot of negotiating to get that. Another big ass TV, PlayStation 4, my gun, my Xbox One, my Wii U, and oh yeah, of course, the kick back and chillax area, my Nuka-Cola blanket with Yoshi. Hey Yoshi, what's up, buddy? Controller, heat, remote. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. This is a whole nother ball game here. This room, basically needs to be gone through. Let me get the light here. All right. I mean, I've got tons of stuff. I mean, there's a CD resurfacing machine. If you're a serious game collector and you collect disc-based games, CD resurfacing machine is your best bet. Signed copy of Maniac Mansion, bunch of CIB, NES games, bunch of Nintendo Powers. They go on the magazine rack in the way back corner over there. I don't even think I showed it. Some display cases I have back here, a bunch of board games. I got my TV, Super Nintendo iRegion modded, Master System, some Dreamcast stuff, and then there's my son Hunter. So I just showed everybody the new game room. What do you think of it?
Hello.
Hi. Say hi, Internet.
Hi.
Okay. So we're going to do some Black Friday Canada shopping tomorrow. We're going to have a camp out tonight, because this is actually a fold-out bed, which is really cool. And, oh yeah, it's kind of dark in here, though. I can't really show it, but if you could see, I got a commercial magazine rack that's usually used to hold all my stuff. So, just going around, this is how it is. I try not to focus on quantity. Everything in my collection, most of the pieces are actually high-dollar stuff, and I try to focus on quality over quantity. I think I said that right, but I screwed up the first time. Anyways, I'm exhausted. We're going to get some sleep. We're going to have a camp out, and then what are we doing tomorrow?
Game video games on Black Friday.
All right, we'll see ya. This is Mancave Museum. We're back. BivCrow and Hunter. What do we say? Subscribe, like, see you soon. Peace.